Right now at noon, an investigation is underway after an inmate dies in the Webb City jail.
Well, it's going to be a beautiful, wonderful Wednesday, but we are tracking some storms Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Those details coming up.
Plus, we sit down with the Miami police chief to discuss the department's plans to implement license plate reader cameras.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Anderson police released details of an alleged accidental discharge of a gun that killed a 28-year-old woman Saturday night. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Samantha Walker. Officers responded to 305 West Main Street and found Annie Strickland Gaines unconscious with a gunshot wound. Paramedics rushed her to Freeman West Hospital, where she died. Police also found a man at the home identified as Gavin Crawford. The investigation is ongoing. Strickland Gaines was a Joplin High School and Missouri Southern graduate. She was an elementary teacher for the Neosho School District. An investigation is currently underway after an inmate dies in the Webb City jail. According to a release from the department, Webb City officers were preparing to transport arrestee Terry Gaston of Joplin yesterday when they found the 41-year-old unresponsive in her cell. Officers immediately initiated CPR and requested medical assistance. Despite life-saving efforts, the 41-year-old Joplin woman was pronounced deceased. The Jasper County Coroner's Office and investigators with Missouri State Highway Patrol have been contacted to conduct a thorough investigation into the cause of death. No names have been released, and the autopsy is scheduled for today. The trial of an Independence, Missouri man charged in a double homicide begins in Cherokee County. The trial of Kyle Butts began this week. Butts was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted murder in connection with an incident from November of 2022. He's been held at the Cherokee County Jail. The incident took place November of 2022. Baxter Springs police officers responded to reported gunshots at a home on 2400 Lincoln. On-scene officers tried to save the lives of 3 people who had been shot inside the house. Additional officers discovered Butts walking in the area. He was taken into custody after a brief struggle. 2 of the victims, Jeremy Murphy of Anderson and Craig Gwynn of Pineville, died at the scene. The 3rd victim, Seth Gwynn, also of Pineville, was taken to an area hospital in critical condition. You can read the entire history of this case on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's Donald with a look at your forecast.
And it's going to be a beautiful Wednesday. We're going to see temperatures get up into the upper 60s, even close to 70 as well. Taking a look at downtown Pittsburgh, you can see mostly sunny skies out there, not really much clouds out there, kind of just lingering around. Let's take a look at our almanac for yesterday. We got up to 67 degrees. The average is 44, so that means we're 33 degrees above average for yesterday, and that trend continues into today as well. But we also are tracking some storm chances for later tonight into tomorrow. The main threat is going to be tomorrow between the hours of 4 a.m. and 4 a.m. to noon, but then by Friday, those storms will start to push out. So let's track these storms real quick here. So today at noon, we're going to see mostly sunny skies. We're going to see temperatures warming up into the upper 60s. Some clouds are going to start to increase by the time we get to Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So here's Thursday morning at 4 a.m. That's when those showers start to push in, but the stronger storms will start to push in about 8 a.m. And like I said, the main threat will be wind and hail as you're driving into work. But I'll have more details about those strong storms coming up.
Thanks, Donald. Dozens of Pittsburgh residents gathered yesterday to protest the Trump administration. Demonstrators gathered at 4th Street and Broadway to demand unredacted Epstein documents and accountability for powerful people. Protesters also stated their opposition to the military intervention in Venezuela, stating that military action won't help families struggling with basic needs. Many residents shared their views on the Trump administration's handling of the removal of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro.
Obviously, most of us are, not at all pro-Maduro and agree with him, no longer being in power. We also don't think that it's America's place to be doing that.
This is not what you do. And to me, it's fascism. This is not what America does. This is what Russia does.
Organizers say the protest was nonpartisan and focused on truth, fairness, and justice over politics. The Miami, Oklahoma Police Department is moving forward with plans to install 10 license plate reading cameras at certain intersections. Gilliam's Kenny Foreman spoke with the chief of police to learn more about what citizens should know.
When Steven Sigmund took over as chief in May of 2024, he envisioned flock cameras increasing efficiency within the department and the city.
It's a lot cheaper to put technology in place than it is to try and hire a law enforcement officer. So we are just trying to use it as a force multiplier to reduce the crime rate here in the city of Miami, improve the quality of living here in the city of Miami, which will then encourage businesses and things like that to come here to support the city.
Unlike a typical red light camera, the flock cameras may only be accessed by the police if they receive specific information related to a vehicle that could help them investigate a potential crime.
These are not speed enforcement cameras. There's no citations associated with these, which was a big misconception that we had going on. They don't track you going to your house, which was another misconception. It simply snaps a picture of who goes through an intersection.
Sigmund says it's a tool designed to help the police, not for anybody to use it to spy on one another.
Anybody that logs into it and conducts a search, they have to articulate why they're conducting the search, be specific about what they're searching for, and then if there's any misuse, we can address that through the audit system and through our policies. And I can assure the citizens here in Miami that if there is any misuse, it will be addressed quickly.
He maintains that the cameras do not capture the car's riders, and the information does not remain permanent.
I understand that there's concern about the retention of the data and all of that. I want it very clear that we can only search the database if we have a legitimate criminal justice reason. And the data is only stored for 30 days and then it is expunged from the system. So it's not an ongoing forever database. It's only for 30 days and then it is removed from the system.
In Miami, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
The department hopes to have the cameras installed by late spring or early summer. Block cameras are currently used in more than 6,000 communities nationwide. Well, coming up, U.S. military forces are conducting an operation to try to seize another Venezuela-linked oil tanker, while Greenland once again becomes a focal point for the president. And later, we're making a penny-pinching teriyaki chicken in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. The U.S. is targeting a so-called shadow fleet of ships that illegally transport oil from sanctioned nations like Russia, Iran, and Venezuela. The move follows the capture of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro last week and claims that the U.S. also wants to control Greenland. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
U.S. forces this morning seized 2 tankers linked to sanctioned Venezuelan oil. An operation in the Caribbean captured the Sophia, and a separate one in the North Atlantic secured the Bella 1.
Understand, they are not generating any revenue from their oil right now. They can't move it unless we allow it to move, because we have sanctions, because we're enforcing those sanctions.
The U.S. had been tracking the Bella 1 from the Caribbean since December. The ship is now known as the Marinera and claims to be sailing under a Russian flag.
Literally got out a bucket of paint, painted a new flag on the side, said we're no longer a Venezuelan vessel, we're something else, right? That's not the laws of the sea.
These latest seizures come as the Trump administration focuses on Venezuelan oil following the raid to capture Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. In a social media post Tuesday, President Trump said interim authorities in Venezuela will be turning over 30 to 50 million barrels of sanctioned oil to be sold at market prices. Some U.S. lawmakers have questioned the administration's focus on oil and whether there's a long-term plan for Venezuela.
This is all about the oil. And their new policy is might makes right. If we want it, we'll get it, and we'll use our military to accomplish that.
Trump administration officials are briefing all lawmakers on the Venezuela raid today and also facing new questions about claims the U.S. wants to take over Greenland.
There is still so many unanswered questions. I hope we get some answers today.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the president is discussing a range of options and utilizing the U.S. military is always one of them.
The U.S. always has military options for everything. I think it's a general statement. I think with Greenland it's very clear that we are working on through diplomatic channels.
Sources tell CBS News that Secretary of State Marco Rubio during an earlier congressional briefing said President Trump would buy Greenland, not take it by force. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Greenland has its own parliament, but it is a Danish territory. The foreign ministers for Denmark and Greenland have requested a meeting with Secretary of State Rubio in Washington, D.C. Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
If you want to save more money in the new year, we've got a penny pinching idea you're going to love. I promise.
We're tracking some stronger storms Wednesday night into Thursday morning. I'll have those details coming up. Well, it's turning out to be a pretty nice Wednesday. We got sunny skies. Temperatures are going to be warming up into the upper 60s, even pushing 70 for the area. But things are going to change tonight into tomorrow. We're tracking some stronger storms. Let's take a look at downtown Pittsburgh right now. Nice sunny skies. There is some lingering upper level clouds out there that kind of just are pushing through. But for the most part, we're going to see nice sunny conditions as we go through today into the afternoon before some clouds start to increase by later on this evening. So let's talk about those storm chances right now. So here's what we're tracking for tonight. We're going to see very, very small chances for some PM storms, but you can't rule those out. But the main threat is going to be for tomorrow morning about 4 a.m. to noon. So that's when the chances of the strong storms will be starting to push through, between, like I said, between the hours of 4 a.m. to noon. And that's going to be peak commuting time if you're getting out the door. So that's what we're watching right now. And then by Friday, those storms will start to push off to the east and will start to cool down behind that system as well. So let's talk about these storms right now. So we are currently under a marginal risk for severe storms. That is a 1 out of 5 chance for severe storms in our area. So the main threat with this system that's going to be pushing through is going to be wind and hail and heavy rain, like I said, between the hours of 4 a.m. to noon. The tornado threat is extremely low and large hail is slight. Like I said, main threat could be winds gusting up to about 60 miles an hour and hail about quarter size and heavy downpours with some of these storms that are going to be pushing through. So let's time out these storms right now. Taking a look at our future tracks. So this is today at noon. We're going to see that flow of south winds that's basically acting as fuel for these storms. That south wind is also bringing in moisture. Like I said, that's going to fuel a lot of these storms later tonight into Thursday morning. So as we go through Wednesday, that sun's going to be out heating up that surface. Like I said, getting temperatures up to the upper 60s and possibly even 70 as well. And as we continue into Wednesday night, we're going to see increasing cloud cover. The moisture is going to be coming to our area. And by about 4 a.m. is when we're going to start seeing those showers off to the southwest come into our area. And then by 8 a.m. is when the stronger storms are going to start pushing in. So like 8 a.m. is pretty typical for the highest commute for people if they're going out to work. So it's going to be very wet and probably loud because there could be a lot of lightning with this and also heavy downpours and, like I said, even some hail and wind. So as you go through Thursday morning, this is 10 a.m. There's those storms continuing to push through across the entire region. By noon hour, the last line of storms, this is going to be the second line of storms that will push through, start to push off to the east. And then by Thursday evening, now we're going to start to dry out and we're going to start to become clear. But behind that on Friday morning, now winds are out of the northwest and things are going to start cooling down into the upper 40s. And like I said, we're going to start drying out into Friday as well. But then we can start seeing possibly by Saturday morning, a wintry mix in the mix actually for Friday night into Saturday morning. But if you're planning your day, high is 68 degrees, partly cloudy skies, mild temperatures. Winds are going to be out of the south 5 to 10 miles an hour, gusting up to 24 tonight. We're only dropping down to 52 degrees. Then we're looking at those storm chances coming in by later tonight into tomorrow morning. Even for tomorrow, 64 degrees for a high, but AM showers and thunderstorms during the morning commute as well. And those, like I said, should push out by about the 5-6 o'clock hour. Tomorrow night, 39 degrees for a low, so we're definitely cooling off, getting into those colder temperatures. Taking a look at our 7 to 10 day. Wednesday's really nice, getting up to 68. Storm chances return to us, or coming to our area by Thursday. Friday into Saturday night, we could possibly even see some wintry mix, and then cooling off through the weekend, returning back to the lower 50s by Monday.
Sounds great, Donald. It looks like we're getting a little bit of all different kinds of weather here in the 4 states. Well, stick around. We're making a penny pincher chicken teriyaki in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. We'll be right back. Your family is probably getting back into the groove after the holidays, and this recipe is not only easy for a weeknight, but budget friendly. Howard is showing us how to make penny pinching teriyaki chicken in the Mr. Food Test kitchen.
You know, saving money is one of those things we try to do year-round, but sometimes we get off track. Making a New Year's resolution to save a little is a great way to get back on track, and one of the best ways to do this is to eat out less and cook at home more. And to give you a jump start, here's a recipe that's restaurant-worthy and budget-friendly. We begin with a few chicken thighs, because they're a lot cheaper and more flavorful than breasts. We marinate them in a mixture of soy sauce, brown sugar, a touch of honey, chopped scallions, garlic, and fresh ginger. Then we'll pop them in the fridge for a few hours or even overnight. Now, right before dinner, we drain off the marinade and bring that to a boil. While that simmers, We cook these on a grill pan or a skillet. And when the weather's nice, these can even be done on the grill. And in just a few minutes, when they're cooked through and no pink remains, we can serve these with some jasmine rice and top them off with a few sliced scallions. Spoon on the sauce for a simple yet flavor-packed dinner that won't break the bank. Saving money will be easy once you have the recipe for our penny-pinching teriyaki chicken. It's online now, so you can make these tonight. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where every day we're looking for less expensive ways for you to say, "Ooh, it's so good."
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices. Well, Oklahoma, already known for its place in Tornado Alley, now has a new weather distinction. It's now the state with the highest concentration of lightning in the country. The new ranking bumps Florida off the top spot in lightning strike density. A group that monitors lightning strikes, Advanced Environmental Monitoring, is out with its 2025 lightning report. Weather monitors found Oklahoma had 73 cloud-to-ground lightning strikes per square mile last year. A lightning scientist with the group says the Great Plains region of the U.S. is becoming more of an active area for intense storms. The states behind Oklahoma in lightning density are Florida, Louisiana, and Kansas.
It's going to be a beautiful Wednesday. We can see temperatures get up to 68 degrees. Nice sunny skies. We could even probably push 70 for today. Storms do arrive late tonight into Thursday morning. Wind and hail, especially in the morning commute around 8 a.m. And then cooling off behind that this weekend, possibly returning back to the low 50s by Monday.
Sounds great, Donald. Thank you so much. Well, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, a lot's coming up at 5 for starters. Over the past 5 years, the number of imposter scam losses by people aged 60 and over has soared. Why experts say the most powerful protection against most financial fraud is conversation among family members that can flag issues before they become problems. Plus, we're going to speak with Pittsburgh's new fire chief to learn more about what he hopes to bring to the department and details on proposed legislation for school cell phone bans in Kansas. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today. KOAM News at 5.
Oh, those all sound great, Donald. Thank you so much. That's the news for now. Thank you for joining us for KOAM News at noon. Have a great afternoon.